Did with you with a good experience, they're going to stay with you regardless of where you go. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that a lot of new loan officers don't look at, and they leave a lot of money on the table. So at the bank, may I ask, what is your compensation for one transaction?
It depends on the rate we give the client. So it can range from 20 basis points all the way down to about 65. So
okay, so it depends on the exception that you give them.
Exactly. Depends on the discretionary pricing we provide.
And what's the average compensation you get?
I would say about 35.
Okay,
30,
so you're
35.
giving some exceptions, but you're not dropping it down, right?
Exactly.
Okay. I came up in a subprime environment where you had to sell a higher rate. You sold high rates, unbelievable terms. And then I went into a broker side where I got paid, compensation for charging more. And that's essentially what you're doing, is you're compensated for doing more. And it's not a bad thing to do more so long as the client that you're serving is actually gaining benefit.
Oh, for sure.
But it also ensures that you have potential redo business in the future, right? Mm-hmm. So every encounter, every close that you do from now on, you want to sell it at full pop and focus on the benefits and let them know in 6 to 12 months you're going to call them to improve it even better. And so now you're making 65 up front, but then you're going to call them in 6 months to make 35 more at the low. But you're helping them so much because you're telling them, hey, do this first, do that, and then 6 months we'll do this, right?
Setting them up.
Correct. Yeah. So overall, you just got paid 100 basis points on one deal within 1 year.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Not to mention the testimonial from the person, because, they're like, hey, Kiri told me get 3.5. He told me, FHA, I can get out in 6 months. Now I'm in a conventional, lower MI, no upfront MIP. Does that make sense? I don't even know if Toronto got FHA. I'm probably talking about.
No, we don't have FHA, but we got like insured deals for less than 20% down.
Yeah.
Similar thing, right?
Right.
Obviously, the first thing for me is just helping the client out as much as they can versus compensation. I feel like that's better to create a better value proposition for the client so I can get repeat business and referrals, right? So that's where I target first, and from there, that's when I try to reach out to their network, their people, or referral bases and stuff.
But here's the thing, though, is that, let me ask you this first before I even go into it, is do you have a location to collect your testimonials or your contacts? Because people you talk with, this is your book of business. Even though you don't close them, that's still your contact. That's still a book of business.
The bank gives us a CRM to collect just the contact information. But testimonials and wise, right now, I haven't done anything in terms of what you said, like videos. I've had a collection of clients' messages or emails that I would post up on Instagram or whatever here and there, but not really anything in terms of what you've actually pinpointed at.
Okay, so LinkedIn is free.
Yeah,
right?
I use that too.
And they can give reviews, right? LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. So you want to collect your contacts on LinkedIn, at least, if not Facebook. Any means necessary, because there will come a time where you don't work for who you work with right now. But if that person is connected with you with a good experience, they're going to stay with you regardless of where you go. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that a lot of new loan officers don't look at, and they leave a lot of money on the table because they start from zero come the first of the month. So hey, hello, and then congratulations, your loan funded. I'll never see you again. But there's so much opportunity right there, right?
Yeah.
Where if you sold your current term, imagine, right? Because you have to sell a higher rate, higher price to get your full rip. And so if you sold the higher rate, the higher price, their fear is that they're going to be in there forever. But if you build a plan where you let them know in 6 to 12 months, you're going to then improve their term because they got a better FICO. They got more equity, right? They have A, B, and C. Then I'm going to lower your rate even more. So now they know they only need that for 6 to 12 months. It's not a high rate forever.
Exactly.
And then if the upside is tremendous and really impacts them, then it's to plan with you. So even though they get called from, let's say, you know, a competitor, they will not restart a plan that they feel committed to Kiri, right? Like, no, I already got a plan with Kiri. I already know what's up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like attached.
He spoke to me. I want that. And that's what's going to keep them glued to you. And so a lot of people don't do that. And it took me a long time to understand the value of that. You know, again, I've been doing this for like 20 years. So if you can really adopt that practice, you'll be years and miles ahead of everyone you are around because they're not doing it.
Yeah, I can see from like my experience with other advisors and stuff. I definitely see it's a difference in your perspective and how you're approaching it, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man.